Yep.
So I think of your daughter as twins.
Well done.
Two boys.
Tom, George, Jason Marley,
Here.
Larry Renner, Jerry Waddington, Beth Collins-Fisk,
Here.
Dave Waddington.
Here.
Bernie Seiler,
Here.
Sean Copley,
Here.
Beth Mayer twice, Annette Soleil,
Here.
Barb Rose, I'm not on here,
There you go. Left
Savon Johnson,
I
and Larry. Tom Frisbee.
I'm here.
Guest today, Tom Brady,
Dick Brady.
Dick Brady, sorry.
Tom Brady's about $100 million away from me.
That was last contract.
All right, looking over last month's, August's minutes, I know we got 2 changes. We got Beth out there twice. Any other corrections,
And
deletions?
Larry's on there.
Yes.
And I am not on there.
I gotcha.
If not, I need a motion to accept.
I move we accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I'm just gonna go to a map.
Yeah, go straight to it for golf course.
Okay, so you have a copy of the revenue from the month of August, and you also have a year-to-date revenue. And then you have a revenue comparison from 2020 and 2021. So 8/1 through 8/31, 33,977.45. Year-to-date, 181,667.20. I just did check it before before I came. We had almost a $9,000 weekend for Labor Day weekend, which was, we were extremely busy. So we're at 194,000 year to date, just checked it. So at the end of August, in comparison to last year, we were $14,537.95 more in 2021 than 2020. So we are trending more, our revenue is higher, so that's what our revenue looks like. Our counts, through the month of August, we had 11,399 rounds. So trending that way, I think we will surpass last year's number of rounds as well. So,
Was last year the record for a year?
for rounds, no.
No, I mean, as
For
far as,
revenue?
Revenue.
I believe
I thought one year we had like 220.
we had two,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was like 2016,
yeah,
2015. I can look back at the,
We should be close to that then.
I think we will,
Yeah, we got a couple months to go.
yeah. And we'll do like we did last year. We'll try to keep them on nice days. We'll stay open throughout. And we'll just give that winter rate again, which we did the $5 for walking. And we did $5 for a cart, but we may want to keep that consistent and just do the $7 that we did do, because it still costs us to run our carts, irregardless what season it is, and just make an adjustment on our golf rates. And then we did start selling passes starting September 1, I believe, and what that allows people to do, they can use the pass this year and next year. And so far, I've sold 6 passes for next year. So, in the months, and we're only, 8 days, 8 days in.
you said they were new members too.
And actually, yeah, 4 of them were new members, so which is a good thing that we're attracting new members. We are finding that tea times are extremely popular out there. People are definitely making tea times, checking. Obviously, our course during the week, we're kind of busy with, high school matches. So, we are getting more tea times even throughout the day. We strongly encourage them on the weekends, because our weekends are obviously getting extremely busy out there.
Outside of the passes, what kind of increase is going to be next year? Because I think that's.
Well, that's a committee that we're going to go ahead and
Okay.
put together. I've went through a number of local courses that are comparable to Mills, And I've put together a spreadsheet so we can look at their rates. We are still lower. So we just have to decide what we want to do. And we may want to go ahead and do it over a period of 3 years and look at increases that way too, so that we know what we're going to have for our increases. But I know Tom's working on putting together a committee for that. So we have that.
Go on.
Pump update. The pump is working. We ran it last night on full cycle. We did have the gentleman from Pump Pro, I believe, or they came out today. We did have a small leak and they had to change a diaphragm in one of the pumps, but everything is cycling through. Our pressure is good. We're just monitoring now for any leaks on the course, and we're just marking them. I'm working closely with Scott Cromer, Adam, and David Borsick, so we're staying on top of that. In regards to, obviously, we know the army worms that are around. Mike Pisarski is on top of it, and he will be out Friday and Saturday just to do, he has some spraying to do anyways, but he is really, we're on top of it, so to see if we have any. We haven't noticed any change in ours other than where we had from where the lack of water, but, so we have been staying up on that, so at this point, we're doing good.
It's nice to see St. Mary's back too, their golf team out
They are back. So we're working through a couple little bumps with that, but we're making it work. Just with some schedule, communication type things. But from my understanding, we will have the boys team back next year. We only have them there for a couple matches. Actually, I just did get a call from their coach today. We did schedule a try over there next Monday because Plumbrook is not, they're closing down 6 of their greens. So,
I just found out the Erie County Golf Scramble has been moved
oh,
to Wauseka.
okay.
Just got a text.
And I heard they have army worms over at Plumbrook. So, but that's kind of what, so I mean, it has, like I said, it's been pretty good with that way. Any questions on revenue, numbers, pump, anything else? Carts, we're still scheduled September. I've not got a delivery date, but I was told they are on track, but I do not have a delivery date yet. So that'll be the 12 carts.
How many years was that lease for?
That one, it is through 2025 with the ability for us to get out of it a year early if the because we wanted it to run consecutive with the diocese. So we would not be penalized for that last year of the lease.
Good.
And then just the rest on mine, fall events, just what I have remaining through October. We don't have anything planned in November for any events. I have 6 private golf outings scheduled in September and October. I have 2 evening glow golfs. We have 3 member outings, and I have 9 high school matches still for the remainder of my season.
It's the place to be.
Who are them guys that tee off in the morning you can't even see? Who's the first group off every day?
Shemmer, yeah. Yeah,
I need a glow bar, don't I?
yeah. Because we're 7, actually now because of sunset, now we're 5:45 as our last cart goes out, so. And the glow golfs actually are really good money makers for us. We usually average about $1,000 for each one of those. And it's not, I mean, you're paying for one staff member and it's a time when the course is closed, so it's bonus revenue.
All right, moving on.
Any questions on that part of the golf course? I know you had asked the last meeting for an update on the diocese, and Commissioner Brady is in attendance.
I'm here to update you. But prior to updating you, I will, Commissioner Waddington's heard this speech before, so you can shut your microphone off, Commissioner Waddington. I make it a point as often as I can to thank people that are willing to serve on committees such as yours. And the point that Commissioner Waddington has heard is, I make the statement that this city runs on the backs of hundreds of volunteers. We could not produce the services and the goods that we do to our residents without volunteers that are sitting here with us today, like you folks. So thank you. Your work does not go unnoticed, and I know none of us get enough attaboys or enough thanks for what we do, but every one of those kids out there that you're doing things for and receive the benefits of, each one of those kids will at some point in time thank you. So I will thank you from the City Commission's perspective. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to sit down with Father Monty Hoyle, who is the pastor of the 3 Catholic parishes here in Sandusky and is a representative of the Bishop of Toledo, with an opportunity to hear from his perspective and perhaps from the bishop's perspective what their plans are for the cemetery and how they see the property that they have there. Is there a need there? Does there continue to be a need for the property, the excess property that is there now? And much to my surprise, and I hope to your surprise, his perception, their perception, is that burials in this country have changed so dramatically in the last 5 or 10 years that where it used to require a 4x8 or 4x10 plot to bury someone now takes the size of a jar. What he's saying is that cremations have grown so dramatically that they feel that they have actually have excess property at that particular cemetery. Not so much at St. Joseph's and St. Mary's Cemetery, but at that cemetery, they feel like they will probably never run out of space with the space that they have. And so most of you are aware, if you're not, I'll make you aware, that the lease that we have enjoyed with them, or that they've enjoyed with us, I should say, was signed in 1999. It was a 25-year lease. Started out at $10,000 a year. I believe the second year might have been $10,000, and then it very quickly went to $20,000 a year with a 2.5% increase each year. We now are, this year we've paid almost $37,000 for a 1-year lease on the, it's a 35-acre parcel of which there are only 18 acres that are usable. The other 17 acres are in a floodplain, which of course does not matter to us. We can hit balls through floodplains and still make use of that. But there's 18 viable acres there. As I mentioned, the price of the lease now is almost $37,000. And in addition to that, our agreement called for the city to pay the property taxes, which are almost $5,000. So in essence, we're paying a little more than $40,000 a year. And we have 3 years remaining on that lease that will total just a little more than $108,000 in payments to finish out the rest of the lease. Father Hoyle has agreed to ask the Diocese of Toledo to perform an appraisal of the property and to try to set a value on that property, potentially for sale. I've asked that we be allowed, as a city be allowed, to perform an appraisal on the property, and that we have not agreed to, but my concept in asking for that is to perhaps use those 2 appraisals as to get an average of what the cost of that property should be. So I think this is a starting point, and I'm optimistic that as I read back through the long history, going back 25 years, there were a couple emails that indicated someone asked someone else, have you ever asked the bishop to sell us the property? And there were 2 answers to that question. One was no, and the second one was hell no. So I didn't hear either of those answers from Father Hoyle. So I was pleased that he has agreed to reach out to the diocese and ask for them to perform an appraisal. And I think we should be willing as a city to spend the money on an appraisal. We'll look at what those 2 numbers are, and hopefully that can be the start of a negotiations towards the purchase of those, I guess they're really 3 holes. Holes 3, 4, and 5 are encompassed in that area. Father Hoyle is not a golfer, so he felt that he was certainly at a disadvantage trying to negotiate a golf course lease. I find that as an advantage for the city. But we'll see where we go. He did caution me that he is aware that their legal counsel for the diocese is out of their office now until a week from Monday. So he promised that the following week he would have a determination back as to who they're going to select for an appraiser. And I suspect they will use or try to use the same appraiser that was used 25 years ago. I could tell that appraiser was picked from the diocese, the Toledo appraiser, and probably tied somewhere to the diocese. So I think it makes good sense for us to get an appraisal ourselves, and we'll match the two together and see what kind of an average price we come up with. Just for your own benefit, the last appraisal showed the property's value at $255,000. So here we are 20 years later. I would expect, like we all know, that numbers haven't gone down, they've gone up. But I think it'll be incumbent upon us to try to negotiate once we have a number in front of us. So come back to this board and certainly get your opinion as to the direction you'd like the city to go. I think we can very quickly come to an agreement as to what that'll be. But I'm hopeful to be back in front of you a month from now, hopefully with a couple of appraisals in hand, and we'll see where that takes us from there.
Dick, I got a question. If it comes back, let's say 350, 400,000, couldn't we spread that out as the city with a note, like over 15, 20 years, we could cut this 40 or 37,000 in half or even better, and that would benefit, for years to come?
I think there's a lot of ways to fund that. I'm not sure that it is an appropriate use of funding for stimulus dollars, but I think there are a lot of ways to figure out how to fund that. I feel absolutely certain that we are now used to paying $40,000 a year, and in $40,000, let's just say $3,000 a month. I think you can borrow an awful lot of money for $3,000 a month over. I would be in favor of a shorter time period, but I think we need to find a way to sunset this lease obligation and do what perhaps should have been done a lease or two ago and find a way to purchase the property. To get this done, it takes a willing buyer and a willing seller. And honestly, I do believe for the first time, maybe in a long time, we have both those. We may have we certainly have a willing buyer, I think, but I think that we may have a willing seller too. But the proof will be in the next month or so.
Certainly doesn't hurt that St. Mary's golfers are back out there.
That helps a great deal. Mr. Waddington shared that with me a week ago, and I certainly pointed that out. And I think the cooperation, there is a spirit of cooperation. There's always been a spirit of cooperation, I believe, between the city and the public school system, and certainly the city and the Catholic school system. So we're in nowhere are we adversarial. No matter how these negotiations turn or end up, we're not going to be adversarial. We're going to find a way out of this. We're going to find a way going forward.
Definitely appreciate the update.
Situation doesn't hurt either.
No.
Whoever was responsible for that.
Yeah, the Strobel Field deal. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really ugly that even happened.
Questions or concerns, or if you want to give me my marching orders, I'll certainly take those. Or suggestions.
You're welcome to stick around for the rest of our meeting. I know you're pretty busy, but
That is something that I always offer to people, and then I watch them flee the room. So I'm going to do the about face, and I'm going to stay to the end.
all right.
Well, thank you, Dick. I know Sean and I had a conversation with you.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, and Commissioner Waddington's in my ear about every 30 seconds about this, so he has certainly been a great advocate for the golf course. I think it's rather self-serving, though, because I think he's out there much more than the rest of us.
I hear it every day out there. What are you gonna do about the lease?
There's so
Thank you,
much-
Dave Waddington.
For people in our age bracket, there's so much history.
There is, yeah.
first place you ever played.
Yeah. For many of you, yeah.
Not that I'm that old.
Moving on.
Some would say.
All right. Yeah, well, thanks again, and we'll get on with the rest of our agenda here with Halloween events. It's crazy we're already talking Halloween events, but Halloween weekends are upon us next week, and the Cedar Point Trick or Treat is back this year. It'll be Wednesday, the October 27th. I put it down at the bottom as a volunteer opportunity. I know Sherry and I have been there. I was Bacon one year, and Sherry was you were in Dragon, right? Bacon. You have to dress up this year, but we'll take some volunteers. Usually about 6,000 pieces of candy per stop out there. It's also the night for the Witches Walk, so that'll be happening downtown on the 27th. And then for 3 days later, we'll have our downtown trick or treat back, which is the Saturday, the 30th. And we're looking to bring back the parade like we had last year with Ogo leading the parade and had the kids dancing. And hopefully we'll do two parades with that dance troupe this year because we're going to have a downtown cruise as part of the trick or treat this year. So we'll go down to the Good Time. If the water is wet, if the weather permits, we'll have another cruise. If not, we'll just have a party on the boat on the 30th at 1 o'clock. So those are a couple things that are going on late next month, and we're planning going for that. I haven't approached the fire department yet about bringing back the pumpkin drop. We did that 2 years ago. You know, it's pretty popular, but we'll check with the fire department if they're open to doing that again this year. Any questions on the Halloween events? Anyone can volunteer for any of that, the downtown or the pumpkin drop or the trick or treat? Let me know, and the times are down below at our volunteer opportunities. That's all we have right now for old business.
Anything else in our old business? Moving on to new business, Jason.
New business, Tandra's here to tell us the programs we have going on at the Triple Deuce, as we call it, 222 Megs in the rec room there.
So Triple Deuce will have dance. It's going to be part of the Cedar Point Trick or Treat Parade. Mookie is back with a monster mash of music that she will teach the kids that are participating and adults. It's open to everyone to do a routine that we'll do on Halloween down Columbus Ave. We have Spanish coming back with Carly Daz. We have sign language coming back with Pam Wiley. And we have Tap Fit with Tandra coming back Tuesdays and Thursdays, one tribe, one time for 1 hour. That'll be at the Sandusky Pavilion. Jack Street Pier, Mylander Pavilion. That is what we have at Triple Deuce and the Pavilion. There is an ice cream social, neighborhood ice cream social at Churchwell Park on the 15th at 7.
Tonight's the church world.
Next week, Sandusky Rec.
Yeah.
So Sandusky Rec at 222 at 7. And then on 9/11, if anyone is able to attend here, the Neighborhood Community Fest would be great for some rec board members to be at the table. We'll be collaborating with the Sandusky Police from 2 to 6. And that's a block party from Camp, from Pierce to Buchanan to Clinton, right? Right. And it's put on by Shawana Davis. And it's just going to be a big community festival. We'll have a table. We'll do our normal little activities, the dice, getting kids moving. The police will be providing the prizes, and we'll have some little giveaways for the kids. Winter break camp is still kind of up in the air. We are already in talks of tailoring it to like the passport program that we had to do due to COVID last year. So hopefully we'll have an answer by November, right? Yeah, I think that's it.
Any questions on fall programming? You're right.
Moving on.
There'll be a few cars downtown starting Friday. The cruising by the bay is this weekend, so come on down for that. It looks like they're gonna have some great weather. 3% chance of rain Friday, 3% chance of rain on Saturday. 3%, yeah. So, a few cars will be down here, and looking forward to that. Just want to let everybody know in case they see the road closure signs and the barricades going up, that's what's going on this weekend. And then I did put on the Jackson Street Pier amenities because we have an update for the skating rink, but we just wrapped up our season with the movies. We've got 2 more Lang Trust events with the Erie County Community Foundation stage. The movie screen from Firelands Health is actually going to be used in conjunction with the stage on Friday. There's the Hitmen. I hear they're really good. They're going to be playing the pier on a Friday night. That's a Lang Trust event. And then they have one more event on the 26th, which is a Sunday at 4 o'clock, which is the Williamsburg Salsa Orchestra. So those are the 2 next events we have with the stage and the screen. And we just had an RFP out for the skating rink, which will be, we had one vendor come in for that. So we'll be to commission, I believe, on that once we
What's
finalize.
the size of that skating rink gonna be?
It's 36 by 40.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit bigger than
a
that.
little bit bigger. I'm not.
It's synthetic though. It's not ice.
It's not ice, it's the
They got,
synthetic.
like, Illyria, I think, has it, don't they? Have an ice
Is
skating
this
rink?
gonna be
No,
similar
Elyria
to
has
Huron?
real ice.
Is it real? Okay.
Is this
Yeah.
similar to Huron, what they're doing?
I believe Huron's is
I think theirs is real ice as well.
theirs is like they're putting down the barrier to just
Yeah.
fill it with water, sort of what we do with Whiteman Weaver,
Correct.
which we still plan on doing for this year once it
Right.
gets
So 30 by 40, did I hear that right?
36, I think.
36 by 40, so
I can look it up.
what size is this room, Dick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, good size.
It's not really, yeah.
Says Crocker Park had the synthetic.
yes, it's
So-
similar to Crocker Park.
Right.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Was that-
No, actually, the Wharf, Cleveland Metro Parks had the
Okay.
synthetic.
Okay,
So, and we opted just to try it for 1 year to see if it was viable. Obviously, it is it's less expensive because a chiller is quite expensive, just even to
6
rent.
figures, yeah.
Yeah, to buy one, it's about 100,000, to rent one's about 20,000 for the year. That does not include your maintain and upkeep. I actually came from Elyria Parks and Rec where I was prior to, which we did have an ice skating rink, and we had 2 full-time guys and about 6 part-time that maintained the ice. So it is very labor-intensive.
So this other way, we don't do anything?
No. What the difference with it is, it will dull your skates more, so you'll sharpen them more. But the amount of maintenance you'll have is you'll just have to sweep off or blow off the synthetic ice is what you'll end up doing. Disney uses it. They use the synthetic ice for their parks in Florida and California. So-
Noah's Ark does it.
Yeah, Noah's Ark.
Yep.
So it's a very popular option. So we said we wanted to try it here and see if it was, an acceptable. If not, we can always go out next year for real ice if we get the feedback that people want that.
They provide skates.
They do. That's in the package. The package actually will come with 80 pair of skates, a skate sharpener. It'll do the synthetic ice, which they will place. It'll do all the barriers will be placed around there. I believe they have Adirondack chairs that come with it. They have lighting around. I believe there is the rope lighting that'll go around the border. So those types of things.
What's the total price for the package?
I thought it was around
40, I believe.
40,000 for the season.
And we plan on running it from the Friday after Thanksgiving
Correct.
through Martin Luther King.
Oh,
We opted to go with a shorter season for that, and then we could then transition over to the Whiteman Weaver with the real ice, so that we could see how it was. And then if it is extremely popular, then we can extend our season in there.
So weather doesn't matter?
No,
Weather doesn't matter with the
No,
synthetic. It
not with the
matters-
synthetic.
It matters with the one over.
The weather
at-
matters with Whiteman Weaver, and that's why we thought we would do that later in the season when it's colder. And then you can, yeah, at any point you can skate on the synthetic. So, and right now, our intent is to probably do Thursday, Friday, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday all day, Sunday all day. When the kids are off on break, we plan on opening it during the day as well. So we're working on a schedule right now for that. And I will transition kind of from the golf course down to there.
Job security.
What's all-day hours?
We haven't
set those?
decided that yet.
No.
So, and I know we've had some interest from individuals who are interested in running the Mailander Pavilion, that they would like that
Employee parties. that sort
employee
of thing.
parties where they could have ice skating as well. So we may do some private parties for that. So
Wonderful.
we'll give it a shot.
Would you be able to use part of the pavilion for a concession stand?
Depending,
We still would want to leave the
Right.
pavilion for rental possibilities and not
Right.
have something that's permanent for the 6 weeks
Right.
or the, 8
Yeah,
weeks it
yeah.
would be. So we're hoping, I mean, this is the first winter we've had the pavilion open with the skating rink, so there's a possibility of concession area out of even a good time
Good
booth as
time.
well. Any questions on ice skating? I know I'm horrible at it. I can't turn. I can go forward, but I can't turn.
You just gotta try, and if you fall, you get up and you
It's
try
like
again.
It's like roller skating.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah, I can't turn roller skating either.
All right, anything else under new business?
Got a question. This isn't on new, but since we had a second. Scott made courts of backboards, any update on that?
Yeah, we have the quote. I just have to get the PO in and get them ordered, so they'll be in.
Is that gonna be yet this fall?
Yes, yeah.
You know, Dick, that'd be a good thing to have a small dedication.
Sure.
We get the new backboard since,
Great idea. Make a big deal out
just
of it.
have a little, quick something,
Yeah.
because that's a lot of money we put in that park then this year, right?
Yeah, and there's other additions we'd like to do if there's money left in the budget that we had put forward. So like a bottle filler, water bottle filler was brought up, maybe a shelter, because it does get pretty warm out there. So that, we had talked at either doing something this fall or even in the spring and coordinating a tournament, maybe try and get Mr. Scott May to come home first for a tournament if we could do that in the spring. But yeah, we can definitely get something going.
Talk to Colin.
Yep.
Talk to Colin.
Any other questions or open discussion? We can.
Anybody else?
Quiet.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Let me.
Next meeting.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Be back in a month.
Tell your kids to set it off.
I will, you too. All right.